Good day, beautiful people. Now I promised my wife I'll paint this door white while she's playing bowls in Pretoria in the Nationals. Very proud of her. She made the EP team. Now let's get back to the sailing. The biggest storm I've ever sailed in. Remember that boat I told you about, which my wife hanged onto that pipe there, the back, the goal post, that warm catamaran. Now that friend of mine, he sold that boat, and the new owner asked if we'll help him to sail that boat down to Durban. And my friend, myself, and another few guys and the old owner said yes, no, we'll do that for him. So we left the Friday afternoon just after work quickly, because we want to be in Durban by Saturday morning, and then we can catch the bus back. So we left and we got to Umhlanga about 7 o'clock that morning, 8 o'clock, and it turned southwest. We knew the southwester was coming, but sometimes there in the coast up from Port St. John's, you'll get another low that jumps in front of the cold front. Now that one you can't predict. It slides off the land and then you get a double front. And it was one of those. It hit us. And we beating there in Umhlanga 2 hours. No, it was an hour and a half. Then the captain said, there's no ways we're going to make it. And he's not going to call the NSRI. He says, let's turn around. Go back to Richards Bay. Now it took us the whole night, 13, 14, 15 hours to get there. We turn around and that wind started picking up and up. 30 knots, 55 knots, 40 knots, 45 knots, gusting 50. I've never ever seen seas like that. Now you must know, this wind's blowing back towards Richards Bay, but the current is still running down, the Mozambique current. Those waves stood up like us. I saw 20-foot breakers and we were flying. We took the jib off. Now we can't reef the main completely in. There was still one reef left because he didn't put lines on it. He must quickly sail to Durban. Never go on an unprepared boat. That was another lesson I learned. Always have things ready. You never know what's going to happen. But anyway, I was so happy I was on that catamaran that day. I didn't want to be in a monohull or a modern cat. That Land Rover, man, it handled those seas. I was on a wheel the one time and we were going down the waves cupping, and we catch the wave, we surf, and we check, hey, we'll make Richards Bay before the evening. 13, 14 hours there, we'll be back in 9 hours time. And we're trying to make it. And it's getting darker, but the wind started picking up and the gusts. It was incredible. The waves were breaking all over. We were surfing down, and then we will surf down and the nose would go in. That catamaran's nose will go in. I thought we're going to pitch ball, and those holes is almost like a V. The buoyancy becomes so big and it pops it up. It actually went in up to the mast the one time. My eyes was like this. And I said, boys, we have, now I was on the wheel, I said, don't you oaks have a storm jib? We're going too fast, because we also started going over the wave and then we fall down. Now I must know, when that boat is 40 something foot long, 42 I think, then we'll crest over the wave. And then 20 foot of the boat will be air, and there's another 20 foot of the wave down there, and then we'll free fall. It was going out of control. But on the wheel, nothing felt out of control. That boat felt like if it's on the rails, it just straight, not going sideways or nothing. So they went under there, got the storm jib out, and I was on the wheel, and I went to the front to put the storm jib on. And they were about to scream, guys, don't put the storm jib on. First come back, take off the main, then put on the storm jib, because we'll have 2 sails on. So they came back, took down the main first completely, And we were still then doing 6, 7, 8 knots surfing, just with no sails on, just the mast. Put up that storm jib. And then it was beautiful. We'll surf down, but we won't be overpowered, and we'll just go into the trough, onto the back of the next one, and go slower, and then surf the next one. So we're getting back to Richards Bay Harbour, and we're calling port control, because you have to have clearance to go in. But we saw the red lights is on, that means the port is closed. We asked permission to come in. Port control, permission to enter the harbour. What the hell are you doing out in the ocean? Come in. Wow, that was a day that I was happy I was there. But I don't want to do that again. But I was also happy I was on that boat. You know, every sailor, we want to have a big storm, because you want to know what's your ability in that storm. But you don't want to be in a storm, but you want to be in a storm, because you want the experience, but you don't want to do it. And I was so thankful I had that experience that time. But then I knew, if I ever have a boat, I'm not going to put those ropes out like the Oaks say. Put a rope out with, they put like a little parachute. No, let that boat run free. Except if it starts going over power like we did and the nose start diving. Then you have to reduce. And if you start catching without a mast, yes, then put the ropes out. Okay, love you people. See you in the water. And that you checked my subscription went up. Thank you for the new subscriptions. Tell your buddies that Surfboard is coming up once we hit that 1,000. Love you guys. Bye.